Hey y'all, Fat Man Outdoors. Hey, if you liked the video, click that like button and click subscribe so that you'll get notifications whenever we post new content. Appreciate you watching. This is the Fat Man. I'm gone. Hey y'all, Fat Man Outdoors. This is going to be video number 3 on reloading for the Hwm.357 Magnum 38 Special. Today we are going to melt wheel weights and to turn them into ingots, preparing to make bullets to load ammunition. I'll move the camera here, show you my setup. Hope you can see that a little bit. It's kind of noisy because I am outside and everybody's playing in the sunlight. What I've got is just a cast iron skillet there, and it's got about 40 pounds of wheel weights in it right now. And you see a little smoke coming off of them. That's fine. That's not water, that's oil that's on them. That oil's not an issue. It'll actually help because it's a really great fluxer. What you got to make sure of is that there's absolutely no water in there. You can't have any water in it at all. I mean none. Water gets under that lead, it'll flash steam and it'll explode, and you ain't getting away from it. It will go everywhere. Make sure when you choose a skillet or a Dutch oven or whatever it is you decide to use to do this with, don't get one that's going to overload that frame, because you don't want to be sitting here with your feet around that while you're trying to work and the frame break and 70 or 80 pounds of lead that's molten comes rolling out of there, because you ain't going to get away from that either. Be smart. But I'm going to go ahead and let this cook off a little bit, and then when I come back after it's melted down, I'll show you how I take out all of the clips and the trash that float to the top, and we'll get ready to make some ingots. Now something I want to add here, as those are melting down, you can still see that you can't really see what's in the bottom of the pot. As long as it's like that, you can just add to it with more wheel weights. Just as long as you don't put too much in there that it's going to overflow the pot. You got to keep an eye on that, but you can add more to it because you're going to make a lot of space as that melts. You're not going to get enough in the pot to fill that pot up in one pile. You'd have them up this tall. But you can add to it as they're cooking down, and you'll tell when you're about at the limit of what you can do. And once they get cooked down where I think I'm good and full, then I'll start skimming off those clips and all the garbage that's in there, and working down to getting on just the lead that I want, and then we'll flux it off with some wax and go from there. Okay, now I can see that my melt has got about half of the pot already filled up, plus still what I've got on here that hasn't melted. I'm not going to add any more. That's going to get me pretty close to all I can handle in this pot, but leave me enough room where I won't be splashing out of it when I start trying to take out the trash and all the clips off the wheel weights. So we'll let this go ahead and completely melt down, and we'll start doing that. We're almost finished. We are pretty much right there where we want to be, ready to start taking out our clips and removing all the trash stuff. Right now at this point, if you made a mistake and you left a zinc wheel weight in there or regular old steel wheel weight, this is where it would show up, because right now we're not to the temperature in this pot that would take to melt zinc, but we're melting lead. And if it's in there and it won't melt, it will float to the top because it's heavier. The lead is heavier than anything you put in there, so the lead's going to go to the bottom. Now I'll just take these, scoop them off into a metal container. Very simple process. Let your tool get to the same temperature that the lead is. Lead will not stick to anything that is just as hot or hotter than it is. And then after we get done with this little operation, we'll do operation number 2, which is we will flux it, which these had a lot of oil on them because they were in a container that had oil in it previously, and the oil kind of fluxed it as it goes. That's why it's looking so bright already, just with me just doing what I'm doing now, and I ain't even really done much of anything to it. A lot of guys will fill up these Dutch ovens that's got handles on them, or they'll fill up a big cast iron skillet, and after they get everything melted and they're ready to start making ingots, and instead of ladling it out, they will pick it up by the handle and try to pour it right out of the skillet. And you can do that once it's almost empty, okay? But I don't even recommend it then. Now what I'm going to do is, sorry about the lawnmower, my neighbors decided to mow his grass, so it's that time of year. I'm going to take a big chunk of beeswax, okay? Do it on the ground. Didn't want to do that. Just throw it right in there. Don't worry, if it flames up, it's okay. It'll burn off in just a minute. Just let it do its thing. We're just going to let it sit there and render off and melt down. In a minute, it'll flame up. When it does, that's great. That's even better. See there, now it flamed up. Now what we want to do is we want to scrape this pot while that's happening. We want to let all them impurities get sucked off the bottom, and that, see all that stuff is coming to the top? That's the stuff we don't want. That's the old road dirt and grime and impurities that's in there that'll keep us from making good clean lead ingots. Alright, now we're just about completely burned off, and I'm going to start pulling all that stuff. It looks kind of strange, black stuff. It don't look shiny. I'm going to bring it all slowly to the same spot. And that way I can take my ladle here, the big spoon. I can take that right off. It looks pretty good right there. See how that's good and shiny? Now that stuff, it looks like a film on top. That's shimmering. Don't want to get rid of that. That's the tin and the antimony. That's what's going to give us our BHN. And I want to leave as much of that in there as possible. If you got a ladle like this, put it in there upside down and let it heat up. So if there's any moisture, condensation or anything on it, and then you ladle it over, allowing that to heat up. And what I got here is some lineman on ingot molds. One of these will make 4 ingot molds. Okay? What I'm going to do, I'm going to set this here on a good steady surface. Again, I'm going to go in, I'm going to dip out of there, come over very gently. Try not to splash it. Alright, and then same thing. Come over. This ladle will actually hold enough to fill up a couple of these molds. Alright, now, got that one full. Now what I'll do with this one, I'll turn it upside down, just tap it on the table. There it is. That one's ready to rock and roll. And we're going to fill it up again. Try to get as much of it in this ladle as I can without lifting that pot. I can't wait to use these. These are going to make great bullets. Going to make great bullets. I almost forgot to tell y'all, sometimes I bring out the big guns. These make 5-pound ingots. Made I don't know how much lead out in this thing, and it's still growing strong. I bought 2 of the cheaper ones the same day I bought this one. They never made it through the first day. I'm trying to recruit my inner ninja to pay attention to what I'm doing over here so I don't get burned up. Now, I like the smaller ingots as well as these. They both have their place. And we're going to make a couple of these smaller ones again. Finish up our pour, and then I will take a look at this and tally up what we made. I advise strongly against doing this, but I know how much is in this pot and I know this handle will take it. So, but I don't recommend anybody do what I'm doing now. Let me do a little count real quick on how many I got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 35, 36, 37. I got 37 of the 2-pound. So that's 74 pounds that we got of castable lead for bullets. That's going to be a Burnell hardness of around 15 to 17. People argue with you, but I'm telling you, it'll be there. Now, on these other ones, so we got 74 pounds there. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. those will weigh right around 5 pounds. So it's another 60 pounds there. So I basically got, let's say, 130 pounds of lead out of this one bucket right here that was up to about right here. That after I sorted all the junk out of it, all the zinc, all the metal, and all the trash, and everything else. Maple, back up, you're going to get burned. And that's a good haul for recent times. Most of the time you won't get that right now. You won't even get close to that. But this is where we're at now. This is the end of step number 3. Well, guys, I hope to see y'all out there somewhere. This is Fat Man. I'm gone.